The Wars of the Roses, a tumultuous period in English history, were a series of dynastic wars fought between the royal houses of Lancaster and York for the English throne. The conflict, spanning from 1455 to 1487, was named after the badges of the two houses, the red rose for Lancaster and the white rose for York. The seeds of this conflict were sown long before the first battle, rooted in the intricate web of royal lineage and ambition. The rivalry can be traced back to the deposition of King Richard II in 1399 by his cousin, Henry Bolingbroke, Duke of Lancaster. This act effectively usurped the throne from the rightful heir, Edmund Mortimer, Earl of March, a descendant of Edward III's third son. Henry Bolingbroke, crowned King Henry IV, initiated the Lancastrian dynasty. However, the claim of the Mortimer family, later represented by the House of York, remained a potent threat to the Lancastrian hold on the throne. The reign of Henry VI, a weak and indecisive king, witnessed growing discontent among the nobility. Economic woes, political instability, and the king's mental fragility created a fertile ground for rebellion. Richard, Duke of York, a descendant of Edward III through both his father and mother, emerged as a powerful challenger to Henry VI. He asserted his claim to the throne, citing his superior lineage and the king's incompetence. The simmering tensions finally erupted in 1455 at the First Battle of St. Albans, marking the beginning of the Wars of the Roses. This conflict, characterized by shifting allegiances, bloody battles, and ruthless power struggles, would forever shape the course of English history. The battle lines were drawn, and England braced itself for a generation of bloodshed and chaos as the houses of York and Lancaster clashed in a brutal struggle for supremacy. The Wars of the Roses were essentially a family feud, a bloody clash between two branches of the Plantagenet dynasty vying for the ultimate prize, the throne of England. Leading the charge were two formidable figures, Richard of York, a man of ambition and military prowess, and the incumbent King Henry VI, a pious but ineffectual ruler. Henry VI, a Lancastrian, was a king beset by challenges. His piety and gentle nature ill-equipped him for the harsh realities of leadership. He suffered periods of mental instability, further weakening his grip on power. Richard of York, in contrast, was a shrewd and decisive leader, capitalizing on Henry's weaknesses to assert his own claim to the throne based on his lineage. Royal marriages played a pivotal role in medieval power dynamics, weaving a complex tapestry of alliances and rivalries across Europe. These unions were not simply affairs of the heart, but strategic maneuvers aimed at securing power, forging alliances, and expanding territories. A well-placed marriage could elevate a house, forge peace treaties, or even ignite conflicts. The Wars of the Roses were a testament to the power of these marital alliances. Both the Yorkists and Lancastrians sought to solidify their positions through strategic marriages, drawing powerful families into their orbit and expanding their spheres of influence. These unions, however, often carried the seeds of future conflicts, adding another layer of complexity to the already intricate web of the Wars of the Roses. The battle for the English throne became intertwined with the broader European political landscape, influenced by the ambitions and machinations of royal houses across the continent. Medieval castles, imposing structures of stone and mortar, were more than just military fortifications. They served as symbols of power, prestige, and wealth, reflecting the status and aspirations of their owners. These strongholds scattered across the English landscape played a crucial role in the Wars of the Roses, serving as both strategic bases of operation and opulent residences. Castles were designed to withstand sieges with thick walls, towering keeps, and strategically placed arrow slits. They often housed garrisons of soldiers, armories stocked with weapons, and extensive stores of provisions to endure prolonged sieges. Moats and drawbridges further enhanced their defenses, making them formidable obstacles for attackers. Beyond their military significance, castles were also centers of social and cultural life. The great halls were venues for grand feasts and lavish entertainment, where nobles gathered to celebrate victories, forge alliances, and engage in courtly rituals. The private chambers, adorned with tapestries and fine furnishings, provided a measure of comfort and luxury amidst the harsh realities of medieval life. The Wars of the Roses saw these castles transformed into theaters of war, their imposing walls echoing with the clang of swords and the roar of cannon fire. Sieges, often protracted and brutal, became a defining feature of the conflict, shaping the course of battles and determining the fate of kingdoms. The Wars of the Roses were fought in an era when chivalry and knighthood still held sway, though the brutal realities of war often clashed with these romantic ideals. Knights, the elite warriors of the age, were clad in suits of armor that were both functional and aesthetically impressive, reflecting the craftsmanship and artistry of the period. The armor of a knight was a marvel of engineering, meticulously crafted to provide maximum protection while allowing for mobility. Suits of plate armor, made from interlocking plates of polished steel, offered superior defense against swords, arrows, and lances. Chainmail, consisting of thousands of interlinked metal rings, provided additional protection, particularly in vulnerable areas like the armpits and groin. The fashion of the era was equally elaborate, particularly among the nobility. Men donned colorful doublets, hose, and long gowns, often adorned with intricate embroidery and precious stones. Women wore flowing gowns with long trailing sleeves, their heads covered with ornate headdresses and veils. Fashion, like armor, served as a marker of status and wealth, a visual language that spoke volumes about the wearer's position in society. The Wars of the Roses, despite their brutality, did not diminish the importance of fashion and courtly display. Even amidst the chaos of war, knights and nobles sought to maintain their elegance and refinement, clinging to the ideals of chivalry and courtly love that defined their world. While the Wars of the Roses officially concluded in 1487, the Tudor dynasty, born from the ashes of this conflict, faced its own share of turmoil. Henry VIII, the second Tudor king, ascended the throne in 1509, inheriting a stable and prosperous kingdom. However, his reign would be marked by religious upheaval, political intrigue, and a relentless pursuit of a male heir that would have profound consequences for England's future. Henry VIII's break with the Roman Catholic Church, driven by his desire to annul his marriage to Catherine of Aragon ushered in a new era in English history. The Act of Supremacy in 1534 declared the king the supreme head of the Church of England, severing ties with Rome and triggering a wave of religious reforms that would reshape the nation's spiritual landscape. The dissolution of the monasteries, another radical measure undertaken by Henry VIII, saw the seizure of monastic lands and wealth, further consolidating the king's power and enriching the crown. This move, while motivated by financial gain, also dealt a severe blow to the Catholic Church in England, dismantling its infrastructure and undermining its authority. Henry VIII's reign was a period of profound transformation, marked by religious and political upheavals that fundamentally altered the course of English history. His quest for a male heir, his break with Rome, and his ruthless consolidation of power left an indelible mark on the Tudor dynasty and the nation it ruled. Catherine of Aragon, the first of Henry VIII's 6 wives, was a woman of unwavering faith, regal bearing, and considerable political acumen. Born a Spanish princess, she arrived in England in 1501 to marry Arthur, Prince of Wales, Henry VIII's elder brother. Arthur's untimely death a few months into their marriage thrust Catherine into a precarious position. To secure the Anglo-Spanish alliance and retain Catherine's dowry, she was betrothed to Henry, who ascended the throne in 1509. Their marriage, initially harmonious, produced a daughter, Mary, but the longed-for male heir remained elusive. Henry's growing obsession with securing the Tudor succession led him to question the legitimacy of his marriage to Catherine, his brother's widow. Henry's infatuation with Anne Boleyn, a lady-in-waiting at court, further fueled his desire for an annulment. He sought papal dispensation to dissolve his marriage, claiming it was cursed by God because of his union with his brother's wife. Catherine, however, steadfastly refused to relinquish her title, defending the validity of her marriage and her daughter's legitimacy. The ensuing legal and religious battle played out on the international stage would have profound repercussions for both England and Catherine's life. Anne Boleyn, the woman who captured Henry VIII's heart and triggered England's break with Rome, was a figure of both allure and controversy. Unlike Catherine of Aragon, Anne was not of royal blood, but hailed from a noble family with ambitions for advancement. Her intelligence, wit, and captivating presence captivated the king, igniting a passion that would alter the course of history. Anne, however, was not content to be merely a royal mistress. She refused the king's advances until he secured an annulment from Catherine of Aragon, promising to make her his queen. This ambition, coupled with Henry's desperation for a male heir, set in motion a chain of events that would culminate in England's separation from the Catholic Church. Anne's coronation in 1533 as Queen of England was a triumph, yet her reign would be short-lived and tumultuous. She gave birth to a daughter, Elizabeth, but failed to produce the longed-for male heir. Her political influence, her Protestant leanings, and her assertive personality alienated many at court, creating powerful enemies who plotted her downfall. Accused of adultery, treason, and incest, Anne was arrested and imprisoned in the Tower of London. In 1536, she was executed, her brief and dramatic reign ending in tragedy. Section 8, Mary, Queen of Scots, a life of tragedy and intrigue. Mary, Queen of Scots, a key figure in the tumultuous Tudor era, led a life marked by both tragedy and intrigue. Born a queen, she ascended the Scottish throne at just 6 days old, inheriting a realm beset by internal divisions and external pressures. Her claim to the English throne, based on her descent from Henry VIII's elder sister Margaret Tudor, made her a focal point of political machinations. Mary's Catholic faith, in a Europe increasingly divided by religious strife, further complicated her position. Her brief and ill-fated marriage to her cousin Henry, Lord Darnley, ended in murder and suspicion, casting a dark shadow over her reign. Forced to abdicate in favor of her infant son, James, she fled to England, seeking the protection of her cousin, Queen Elizabeth II. Elizabeth, however, viewed Mary as a threat, a potential rallying point for Catholic dissidents, and a rival claimant to the English throne. Imprisoned for 19 years, Mary became embroiled in plots against Elizabeth, her name used as a rallying cry for those seeking to restore Catholicism to England. In 1587, Elizabeth signed her cousin's death warrant, ending Mary's tumultuous life and securing her own grip on power. The Wars of the Roses, though concluded centuries ago, continue to exert a powerful hold on our imaginations, their legacy woven into the fabric of English identity and cultural memory. These conflicts, born from dynastic rivalries and fueled by ambition and bloodshed, left an indelible mark on the nation's history, shaping its monarchy, its society, and its cultural landscape. The most immediate impact of the wars was the establishment of the Tudor dynasty, a new line of monarchs who emerged from the chaos of the conflict. Henry Tudor, a Lancastrian claimant, defeated Richard III at the Battle of Bosworth Field in 1485, ending the wars and ushering in a new era for England. The Tudors, through their shrewd governance and astute political maneuvering, restored stability to the kingdom and laid the foundation for England's emergence as a major power on the European stage. The wars also had a profound impact on English society, decimating the old nobility and reshaping the balance of power. The conflict witnessed the rise of a new class of gentry, men who owed their allegiance to the Tudor crown and whose loyalty helped solidify the new dynasty's grip on power. The turbulence of the wars also led to advancements in military technology, with the increasing use of firearms and artillery signaling a shift away from the chivalric warfare of earlier eras. This evolution in military tactics and weaponry would have lasting consequences for the nature of warfare in Europe. Royal weddings throughout history have been more than just personal unions. They have been grand spectacles of power, diplomacy, and dynastic ambition. In the medieval era, these events were meticulously orchestrated affairs designed to showcase the wealth, prestige, and political clout of the families involved. They were moments of high drama, where alliances were forged, rivalries played out, and the future of kingdoms hung in the balance. The Wars of the Roses provide ample examples of the strategic importance of royal weddings. The marriage of Henry VI to Margaret of Anjou, a French princess, was intended to secure French support for the Lancastrian cause. Similarly, Richard of York sought to strengthen his position through strategic alliances, marrying his children into powerful families to broaden his base of support. These weddings were not merely political transactions, but elaborate celebrations, meticulously planned to awe and impress. The ceremonies, held in grand cathedrals and abbeys, were steeped in religious symbolism, emphasizing the sanctity of the union and the divine right of monarchs. The wedding feasts, extravagant affairs lasting for days, featured a dazzling array of dishes prepared with exotic spices and ingredients, a testament to the wealth and culinary sophistication of the era. Royal weddings were a microcosm of medieval society, reflecting its values, its power structures, and its fascination with spectacle and display. They were moments when the personal and the political intertwined, shaping the destinies of individuals and nations alike. The medieval world, despite its hardships, was not devoid of pleasures, particularly for those at the top of the social hierarchy. Royal courts were centers of indulgence, where feasting and revelry played an integral role in courtly life. Banquets, grand affairs designed to impress and entertain, offered a glimpse into the culinary extravagance and social rituals of the era. These feasts were not merely about satisfying hunger, but were carefully orchestrated performances, showcasing the wealth and sophistication of the host. Tables groaned under the weight of elaborate dishes prepared with an abundance of meat, game, fish, and exotic spices. Wine flowed freely, served in ornate goblets and flagons, adding to the merriment and extravagance of the occasion. The seating arrangements at these banquets were meticulously planned, reflecting the rigid social hierarchy of the era. The king and queen, of course, occupied the most prominent positions, surrounded by their most esteemed guests. The hierarchy extended down the table, with each guest's place reflecting their rank and status within the court. Entertainment, an integral part of these feasts, ranged from minstrels playing music to acrobats performing daring feats. Jesters and fools provided comic relief, their witticisms and antics adding to the lively atmosphere. These banquets, beyond their culinary indulgences, served as important social occasions where alliances were forged, rivalries played out, and information exchanged. They were a microcosm of courtly life, reflecting the power dynamics, social rituals, and cultural values of the era. The Wars of the Roses, though concluded centuries ago, continue to captivate our imaginations. This period of English history, marked by dynastic rivalries, bloody battles, and ruthless power struggles, has become a source of endless fascination for historians, writers, and artists alike. The enduring appeal of this era, perhaps, lies in its potent blend of historical drama, human tragedy, and political intrigue. The Wars of the Roses offer a glimpse into a world of chivalry and brutality, where the ideals of knighthood clashed with the harsh realities of war. They showcase the intricate workings of medieval power dynamics, highlighting the influence of royal marriages, the importance of castles as strategic strongholds, and the opulence of courtly life. The stories of key figures, from the ambitious Richard of York to the tragic Mary, Queen of Scots, continue to resonate, their lives and deaths serving as reminders of the human cost of ambition and the capricious nature of fate. The Wars of the Roses have also left an indelible mark on English literature and popular culture. Shakespeare's history plays, such as Richard III and Henry VI, bring these conflicts to life, exploring the themes of ambition, betrayal, and the corrupting influence of power. Novels, television series, and films continue to draw inspiration from this era, reimagining the events and characters of the wars for modern audiences. The enduring fascination with the Wars of the Roses is a testament to the power of history to captivate, educate, and inspire. The stories of this era, though steeped in the past, continue to offer valuable insights into the human condition, reminding us of the enduring themes of ambition, love, loss, and the struggle for power that transcends time and place.